I'm Littlefoot, this is Sonic Adventure 2 Treasure Hunting Levels, and today we ask the question, is that good game design?
Okay.
Now before we can answer that question, we have to define what good is and what it looks like in this context specifically. I'm not really making a value judgment on whether or not it's a good thing that these treasure hunting levels are in Sonic Adventure 2 at all, because I think a lot of people would say it is not a good thing that these levels are in the game, and they hate these levels, and that's not what I'm trying to say. I love these levels. I think that's a little too subjective. I'm trying to get a little more objective in my analysis of what is good and what is evil. What is bad game design. So really what we're doing here is we're zeroing in on the level design of these stages specifically, and we're saying, okay, is that good level design, is that good stage design, or is that bad game design? So here's kind of my pieces here. A good level with good game design is going to harmonize with the tools that the player has been given. So the two things we're going to be looking at are, number one, does the level design complement the movement of Knuckles and Rouge? That's the running, jumping, climbing, gliding, and of course drill diving. And the second thing we're going to be looking for is, does the stage design complement the use of the radar? One thing I hear a lot in this game, and with these levels specifically, is like, dude, the radar sucks, it doesn't work. And that's not true. The radar works. But sometimes it doesn't work, and it's very stage dependent. So we're going to be looking at which stages use the radar well and facilitate the use of the radar well, and which stages don't do that. First stage we're going to be looking at is Wild Canyon, and this one I'm going to say is good game design. So let me break down why that is. The first thing about this stage is that it has 4 distinct sections. You have this like area in the bottom with all these pillars around it, and there's this wind tunnel that goes up through the center. Then you have, when the wind tunnel goes up, you have this second area, which is kind of small. It's mostly just the wind tunnel. That's a second distinct area. Then you have these 2 pathways that branch off from each side of that second upper area. Those are third and fourth distinct areas. Okay, so why is that important that it has these 4 distinct areas? Let me tell you. These 4 distinct areas are important because it allows you to easily sweep through each area with the radar. And if the radar pings, then you know that there is an emerald piece in that area. And if it doesn't ping, then you know, okay, I'm gonna have to go search another area. This lets you knock each area out one by one until eventually you narrow down to which part of the stage the emerald piece is in. Now this is important. Don't take this for granted. It may kind of seem pretty self-explanatory. Like, yeah, of course, I'm going to walk around, and if the radar pings, I know it's nearby. But having distinct areas like this is not a thing that every single stage has. I actually usually beat this stage without having to use any hints, because all I really have to do is run around, sweep each individual area, and then I'll be able to find the pieces pretty quickly. No hints needed, just because of how distinct those areas are and how easy it is to run through. Speaking of easy to run through, let's talk about the movement and how this stage facilitates the movement of Knuckles. One of the main features of this stage is this wind tunnel in the center. Now this wind tunnel is really important because while moving horizontally and even moving downwards is pretty quick for Knuckles and Rouge, moving upwards takes a long time, because the main way you can do that is through climbing. So this wind tunnel mitigates that by letting you move upwards very quickly, allowing you to move through this stage very fast. Once you have some height too, you can also easily glide from the center to either of those other parts of the stage in that upper level. This is a great stage, and this wind tunnel is actually a great element of the stage. One thing I did is I went through and I played through each of these stages, so we're going to talk about the little playthrough for Wild Canyon right now. So I actually found the second emerald piece without even having to use the radar or anything. I just kind of was looking around, I was like, oh, it's over there, it's by the pillars. So I kind of chased it down, grabbed it, which is an interesting thing about these stages. You don't have to do it in order. Now, you don't have access to the radar if you do it out of order, but I literally just saw it. I was like, I'm gonna grab it. That's what I'm gonna do. So that was really easy and really lucky. So for the next 2, I used the sweeping method, using that wind tunnel to help get me up to the second part of the stage. And I found the other emerald pieces really fast and beat the stage in under 1.5 minutes. It was great. I loved it. Good job, Wild Canyon. Good job, Sonic Team. Okay, so moving on to the first roost stage here, we have a Dry Lagoon. I'm going to go ahead and say good game design on this one. Now, this is a companion stage to Wild Canyon. There's a lot of similar game design decisions and a very similar stage layout in this stage as well. So instead of there being this wind tunnel that connects the two parts of the stage, there's actually this turtle that takes you down this like secret underwater like kind of passage sort of thing, takes you to the second part of the stage. So there's actually an interesting interaction with the radar in this stage. So if you're in the first part of the stage, your radar actually can't detect any emerald pieces in the second part of the stage at all. Now this makes sense because both of these are totally different areas of the stage. I think it basically just loads a new stage when you get to the second area. I actually think it is a good thing in this stage because again, with that sweeping method, you're able to see, is it in this first area? Okay, no, then it has to be in that second area. Later, it gets bad. This becomes a bad thing later on. Again, the sweeping method works great for this stage because of the distinct areas. I think actually the biggest nitpick I have for this stage is that in that first area, it's actually quite tall, and really the only way to get to the top of the area, or the top of the stage in that first area, is to climb all the way up. So there's no like wind tunnel, there's not even a rocket to help take you up to that upper area. A lot of times an emerald piece will spawn up there, and then you're just kind of looking around for it on the ground in the second area, and you're like, I don't know where it is. Then you realize you have to like climb like a 50-foot pillar. That's kind of annoying. That's a small nitpick, I think. Overall, the stage is designed rather well. My playthrough was pretty standard. I freed the turtle. I went and swept the areas, found the pieces. It's in that pot over there, isn't it? Oh! Let's go. Got that A rank. Gamer mode. I'll be honest, this is the perfect stage. I got no notes. This stage is awesome. This stage rocks. So basically, Pumpkin Hill takes everything from the previous levels and it just perfects it. So this stage, you got 3 distinct sections. You got the Ghost Train Mountain, you got Pumpkin Mountain, and you got Church Mountain. Now this stage is really open, and so it makes gliding feel awesome. If you want to get from like point A to point B and you're up in a high spot, you just glide your way there. So once again, climbing takes a long time. It's pretty tedious to climb all the way up. So to facilitate that, they put a bunch of these rockets around the stage so that you can just get a bunch of height. Really intentional game design on their part. There's even rockets that take you like from Church Mountain to Pumpkin Mountain. You can just take a direct expressway on your way there. It's great. It's awesome. It's like they do. Oh, this stage is so good. Also, okay, I'm not going to talk about this a whole lot because this isn't really stage design in the way that I'm speaking, but aesthetically, this level rocks. This level is so cool, dude. I will say the main nitpick I have of the stage is that even though you have these 3 distinct mountains, you also have all these like weird pumpkin-headed kind of mountains, little tiny mountains, all scattered throughout. And it's just annoying when you sweep the main 3 areas and then you still can't find it and you go, oh my gosh, it's at one of those like random disparate pumpkin head mountain things. But I will say the good thing is that the collective of the random pumpkin head mountains kind of act as their own 4th section to sweep. So they are pretty far apart, and that's annoying, but you know, okay, if it's not in any of the 3 main mountains, then it has to be on one of these separate areas. So in my playthrough, the first emerald is actually the most difficult to find. It was kind of like tucked away. It was in this little pocket area. So I did use a hint that told me that it was on like a skull, and you know, I was like, all right, there's like a million skulls in this stage, like that doesn't do me anything. Which again, I get why people think the hints are not helpful, because in that moment I was like, yeah, this hint is not helpful, but it became helpful later because I applied some other techniques. So basically I was like, all right, let's get to sweeping. So the first thing I did is I went over, took that rocket up to Ghost Train Mountain, started sweeping, got a little ping, went over, and I was like, okay, it's in this general area. Again, that sweeping method coming in clutch. And then I was like, I can't really find it. It was like, because it's kind of hidden away, it's kind of tucked behind something. And then I looked and I was like, oh, there's these things with like these skull designs on it. And I was like, it clicked. And so then I went over, boom, grabbed that emerald piece, felt like a genius. So the hint actually was helpful, even though when I first got it, I was like, dude, come on, like what even is this? So for the next one, I went over to Pumpkin Mountain and did a little sweep, and sure enough, emerald was right there, dug down, found it in like 10 seconds. I might be the goat, but actually this stage is goated, is what it really is, so I can't really take credit for that one. Then I got a hint that said like, oh, you can hear the horn, the train horn or whatever, and I was like, oh, easy, Ghost Train Mountain. take my white ass over there. Went over there, did the sweeping method, but it wasn't there. So I was like, that must mean it's at Church Mountain, because if it's not at Pumpkin Mountain where it was, it's not here. It's got to be in that third distinct area. Sweeping coming in clutch yet again. Sure enough, ping goes off. Boom, find some tracks up there. Boom, easy A rank of my life. Love this stage. Go to the stage. No notes. I wish every stage was Pumpkin Hill in the whole game. Okay, I've been glazing this game. I've been glazing this game hard, but it's time for our first bad game design level. Egg quarters, not a well-designed level. So in contrast to the perfect level Pumpkin Hill, having all this wide open space facilitating easy movement from point A to point B, Egg quarters is actually really cramped. It's like all these like hallways, and like you gotta run around everywhere. There's not really much gliding or diving or anything like that. It feels like half of your move pool is just useless. Also, like the layout's confusing. Like you can't see everything from the stage. It's like this. It's like a maze. It's like a weird maze. There's not even a map in this stage, but it wouldn't help much anyway. It doesn't help me, at least. I don't know. And again, you can't move directly from point A to point B. I can't stress enough how important that is. Something like Pumpkin Hill, where you're like, I want to go there. You just start gliding, right? You just start moving in a straight line. You can't do that. You gotta like move through all the hallways. It gets annoying, and it slows down the gameplay, and it adds to that wandering feeling, and that like, what am I doing, where am I going, which makes these stages not fun. So I think you can argue that there are still distinct sections in this stage. That's the 4 main rooms, the like red room, green room, blue room, and like that kind of weird center room. But kind of how it really works is that each of the hallways also acts as its own distinct section, because the radar will ping if you're in the hallway, but it won't ping anywhere else unless like you're in the room next to it. It gets really confusing, and again, the main reason why distinct sections are important is so that you can sweep them quickly and see if the radar pings, and this stage doesn't really got that going for it as well as some of these other stages. Especially, I will say the scale of the stage, as far as like how big it is it's fine. This stage is not too big. Again, that becomes a problem later. But in this stage, it's alright. You can still run through it and sweep the whole thing if you need to. But it's annoying. It's annoying. It's not fun. I don't like it. I don't know. Now, one thing that I think this stage does really well is leaning into the whole spy theming of Rouge's character. One way that this is shown really well and demonstrated through level design and game design is with the egg robots that fly through the stage and zap you if you're not hiding. I think any other character in this game, if like a big robot came at them, what would they do? They'd like punch it or spin dash into it or whatever. They'd like attack it and destroy the threat. But Rouge, no, she's a spy. This is now a different genre, and so she has to hide away from these egg robots. It's really cool. It adds this feel of like, I'm sneaking around the base, I'm trying to collect a key, I'm trying to break in. Really well done through that game design, and I love that element of the stage, and I think that's done even better in some of her later stages as well. Okay, so let's get into the playthrough. Speaking of the robots, I got hit by the robot lasers a lot. I got hit multiple times, but I was just kind of like, eh. When I was a kid, these robots freaked me out so bad. I was like, if they hit me, I'm gonna die. If ever the screen started glowing green, I like freak out. Like I actually get scared. So again, great game design, I think, in that element. I think if they insta-killed you, I don't know if that'd be a good thing. I think it would definitely raise attention. I would probably like it more, but I think it would honestly probably just be annoying, because you just like get caught off guard and then die to them, and that would suck. Oh yeah, I will say the hints in this stage are not great. Kind of the way that it works in stages like this is that the first few hints give you kind of like, they're pretty ambiguous, and the third hint is basically like, it's in this room, or it's in this hallway leading to this other area. But again, the scale's not so large that I didn't just end up kind of running around the whole stage, sweeping the whole thing anyway, which is not my preferred way to play in like such a just, okay, I'm just gonna run around until I find it. I want it to be more intentional in the way that I'm approaching it, but it's alright. It's alright. We found it. We got through it. Yeah, this is not the worst stage by a long shot. So this stage is okay, but it's not great. Bad game design. Let's go next. Alright, so next up we got Aquatic Mine, and this is gonna be bad game design. They were in a bad mood when they designed this stage, let me tell you. So like, why is this a water stage? Like, does anybody like water stages? No, nobody likes water stages. I don't like this. The first thing I do in this stage every single time is I go up top and I put the water level all the way down. I lower the water. I'm like, I don't want it. It's annoying. Again, stages that facilitate the movement are good, but when you're restricted to the annoying water controls, it sucks. So I'm like, get rid of it. Now I can act normally. There are some fringe cases where you have to have the level at like the second highest or the highest to get a specific emerald piece, but those are not good. Like, if you get an emerald that requires you to do that, like, reset the stage. Like, there's some there's some diabolical emerald piece placements in this stage. Like I said, they're in a bad mood when they're making this. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Some of these are like, I can't explain it. It's like, you gotta, it's messed up. Anyway, kind of the layout of this stage, though, is you have this one main area. You have this central kind of mine shaft in the middle, and then you kind of have a lot of these paths that branch off. You also have like a few like random rooms, like the ghost room, which exists off to the side. It's not as succinct as a lot of the other stages, which have like 3 or 4 main areas. You just have like one main one and then a bunch of side trails, which makes the sweeping method like generally not work nearly as well. And pretty much everything aside from the central mine shaft feels pretty cramped. It's these narrow hallways, which is just not good. Also, like, the camera in the hallways, like, not good. You have like some areas that you have to go underwater for that are really annoying. And again, you have that ghost room, which is fine, but I remember the first time I played this, I was like, dog, I don't know where I'm going. It took me a long time to beat this one. And the radar doesn't really, I feel like it has less range in this stage. I don't think that's true, but I feel like it's true because it doesn't work as well in the side areas or to alert you when an emerald piece is in the side area and not in the main area. I don't know. It feels like the range is far. It's probably not, but it is annoying. And again, a lot of just bad, evil game design decisions made for this stage specifically. So again, my playthrough, first thing I did, went up top, brought the water down. Not gonna mess with that. And at first, they're going quite swimmingly, I must say. I got a hint that was like, it's in an oven or something. And so I was like, oh yeah, there's like ovens in the main area. And radar went off, went and grabbed it out of the oven. I was feeling pretty good. The second emerald piece is actually in like a side area, one of the hallways that leads off, but it was close enough to the main area that the radar was able to pick it up. And so I was like, oh, it's over there. It's like, it's in that enemy. So I blew up the enemy, got the second piece. And again, I was like, dude, I'm gonna finish the stage lickety split. Like, I know I was saying all that bad stuff about it, but actually maybe it's not so bad. And then it got bad. The third piece, I feel like it was not showing up the radar. It was in the middle of nowhere, right? And I was like, I don't know where this is. I ended up getting 3 hints, and eventually the third hint was like, go to this place. And I was like, okay, all right, my fault. So again, the hints, I feel like in this stage specifically, they eventually just tell you, like, go here. Like, the stage is actually not big enough that they'll just give you a general area. They're like, no, it is in this room or it is in this area. Maybe this was a skill issue. Maybe this is a bit of a skill issue. So anyway, Aquatic Mine, not great. Okay, but this next stage is my favorite stage in the game. I love Security Hall so much. I'm giving this one good game design, which hear me out. So I feel like this stage is kind of, the timer is evil. Like, people are like, I gotta beat this stage in 5 minutes. Are you insane? But I love the timer so much. Hear me out. I will make the argument here that this is the only treasure hunting stage that is difficult, that has a challenge. And here's why I'm saying that. Every other stage is just how much time are you willing to put into this. Like, eventually you are going to find the emerald pieces, but this is the only stage that's like, if you don't do this in a set amount of time, you will lose. That's the challenge. And no other stage has anything like that. And it's awesome, and it rocks. Also, the whole timer thing, the like breaking into the vaults, the high security, stuff like this, it fits into the spy theme so well. Oh, it's so good. Oh, this stage is good. Okay, so let's break down the level design a little bit more. So first of all, the level is split into like 3 distinct areas. You have the like A area, B, C, and then you also have the multiple levels being like blue, yellow, red or something. I don't remember exactly. First level, second level, third level, this section, this section, this section. It makes it really easy to sweep around in any of those ways. And again, they have rockets and these little like, I don't know what of these things are that like take you, they mitigate that vertical movement, which is really important in a stage like this where you want to be able to get up pretty quickly. Now you also have this 4th distinct section, which is all the way at the top, which you take a little bounce pad, another one of those And you take that to get up into this section where you flip the switches to open up the safes. So this acts as a 4th distinct section. So a lot of times the Chaos Emerald is going to be up here in this section. So it's important to sweep that section as well.
Yes! Yes!
Okay, let's talk about my playthrough. So the first Chaos Emerald, easy peasy, nabbed it like nothing. Awesome. Okay, but then the second Emerald, the radar was like trolling me. Like, it was like pinging in this like one area, and I'm like, this is a wall. Like, this is straight up a wall, like on the bottom of the stage. Like, what do you mean it's here? It's like, okay, it's not in this bottom section, even though the radar is like telling me that it's down here. So it has to be in that upper 4th section. And I went up there, and sure enough, it was there. The radar's like never done this to me before. And again, all the people that are like, the radar doesn't work, I was like, maybe the radar doesn't work. It's not working right now. I will say one effect and one consequence of this is that I spent a lot of time looking for that second Chaos Emerald, and because of that, I had like less than 2 minutes left on the timer. And so I started like feeling that pressure of like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna run out of time. I'm the spy breaking into the vault. I gotta get out before everything blows up. Am I gonna make it? I don't know. And it was awesome, and I loved it. This is real tension. There's real tension in this level that every single other treasure hunting level lacks. Ooh, okay. So eventually I made my way up, swept all the bottom areas. So I went up to the 4th area, found that it was up there, grabbed the emerald, time to spare, got that A rank. And I had more fun on this playthrough with the weird radar, with that like timer going down, than I do usually on this level. And I played this level a lot. I love this level. I played a lot. And this playthrough was special. This playthrough was great. Oh my gosh, I love this level. If you hate this level, I get it. But I love this level. I ain't gonna lie. Okay, moving on to the next stage. We got Death Chamber. This is not bad game design. This is the worst game design. This is probably the worst level in the game. Boo. So this level feels like a Metroidvania, but like in a bad way. Like in the I'm running around, going through all the areas, trying to figure out what to do kind of way. Like the least fun part of Metroidvania gameplay loop. That's what this whole level is. Like even when you start the stage, you have like 3 ways you can go. You can go left, right, or you can go forward. But actually, the left and the right paths are blocked off because you need an upgrade to access those areas to break the boxes that lead there. It's a Metroidvania. It's literally Metroidvania. Why is there a Metroidvania in the middle of my Sonic Adventure 2 game? And it sucks. And it's awful. It's the worst. So this stage pretty much has all the problems that Headquarters has, but even more because the stage is like 2 or 3 times as large as Headquarters is. Running through this stage takes forever, not only because of the scale, but also because you have all of these doors that are on these timers. You have to like punch like an hourglass to open the doors. You have these doors that are like you have to dig through them to get to the other side of an area, which takes a long time and also restricts the radar's use. So there's a key on the other side of a wall, but that wall is one of those like walls you have to dig through. You won't know, the radar won't ping until you get to the other side. And again, in Dry Lagoon, that was a thing with like the turtle. Like if the turtle took you to the second part, you wouldn't get a ping unless you were there. But it's like a huge problem in this stage, and I'll talk about that in my playthrough. It was about to be a big issue. I will say the stage, again, like Headquarters, has like 4 distinct areas. You have like the red, blue, green room and the big central room. Each hallway feels like it's large enough to be its own area as well. And that becomes a problem later too. I'll talk about that in a second. Anyway, overall, this stage, the scale is an issue. The fact that movement from point A to point B is hindered constantly is an issue. Like we talk about, okay, if a stage harmonizes with the tools that you've been given, it's good. This stage feels like it's actively working against and preventing you from using the tools that you've been given. Okay, let's talk about the playthrough. Let's talk about it. So for the first key, the radar and the way that it interacted with the hallways here actually made it like harder to find one of the keys. I was basically in a hallway leading to another room, and the key was in a hallway leading away from that room. So I was getting a ping in the first hallway, even though it was in the second hallway, and I was like, oh, it's in this hallway somewhere, but then it wasn't. So I'm like, let me go into the room, maybe it's in the room. And I go in the room, and then the radar stops because like the angle I was going at, again, let's say like This is the hallway, this is the room, this is the second hallway. So when I was here, I was closer to the key that was in that other hallway here, but then when I moved this way into the room, I got further away from the key, so the radar stopped. And this would only happen in this stage. Awful, horrible reason why you shouldn't have hallways in these sort of stages. They make the radar not work. And on another one of the keys, the hint that I got was it's in the secret room between this room and this room. And I feel like this requires like elite ball knowledge of the stage, which I have, by the way. But here's kind of the problem with that. The secret room is behind one of those doors that you have to dig through to get to the other side, which means that if you're running past that, the radar is not gonna ping. It's not gonna tell you that there's a key in there at all. If you're playing this stage, not even the first time, you could be on your third or fourth or fifth playthrough of the stage and never had to go into the secret room, and maybe you're cognizant of the fact that the radar's not gonna work like that. But it's super annoying that you can be that physically close to the key but not have any radar ping. So that's just, again, one of the many problems of this stage, and the way that, again, it feels like it is actively working against and not harmonizing with the tools that you've been given. Anyway, this stage took like 6 minutes to beat, is pure pain the whole time. It sucks. This stage is not fun. I don't like it. It's not fun. Bad game design. Worst, awful game design.
Only 2 more.
Next up, we got Mad Space, and I'll be honest, this stage is like so close to being good, but I'm gonna say bad.
I'm not good
game
enough
design.
for you?
Mostly there's just like a lot of little things holding this stage back. There's not any, it's not like fundamentally flawed like something like Death Chamber is, but those things add up and ultimately make the stage not as good. But let's talk about the good things first. Now, one thing that we have is these 3 meteorites, which act as 3 distinct areas, which is, that's great. Again, the stage is very open, which is also great. We also have this 4th distinct area of the bottom platform, and then all these like little platforms that go around it in a circle, which those are actually kind of annoying. I don't really like those, but that does act as a 4th distinct area. Now here's the problem. Here's where the problems begin. You have this 5th area, which is all the way up in the top. It's basically a bunch of like these disparate platforms that go around, eventually until you hit the bottom of the Space Colony Arc, which the bottom of the Space Colony Arc, really cool set piece. It does not translate well to a good level to have that there, because ultimately how that manifests is it's just difficult to sweep that area. It's too big. There's not enough distinct landmarks or like an enclosed enough area that you can just be like, oh, I'm gonna run around this meteor until I find something. It's like, no, it's just up there somewhere, and you just kind of gotta wander around until you find it. So that's kind of I would say the main flaw of this stage, which if that was the only thing, I might still say it's good, but there's a few other problems. Second thing is the gravity on the meteors is whack. This is not like Super Mario Galaxy. Like they did not nail it on this one. Each meteorite has its own unique gravity, and it's like messed up in its own unique way. This is basically the same as this being a water level. The problem with water levels is that they mess with your controls, and it's just not good to do that in general. And the third thing that I don't like about the stage is the hints. The hints are either the opposite of what they're saying, or they're written backwards. Every time you get a hint that's written backwards, you have to like pause the game and like read it backwards. It's just annoying. It's not great. It's really gimmicky, and it doesn't add anything. It's just one more small thing that just makes this stage not as fun. And if we're taking a sum total of everything, it's like it's gotta be bad. It's gotta be bad. But this stage is not unfixable. Again, you remove that top section, you make the hints normal. I think it's probably fine. The gravity's but like it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Okay, so in my playthrough, I went all the way up to the top of the stage to the Space Colony Arc to get my first emerald. One thing this stage as well is that they do have rockets that take you from one place to another and get you up with that vertical movement very well. I had to use a lot of hints to find where the pieces were because of how large the stage is, especially with that top area. Once you find which meteor the emerald pieces are on, though, it's usually pretty easy. And again, if it was just meteors, you just sweep the meteors, easy peasy, get the day done. That's not how it is, though. The final emerald piece of the stage was on one of the small meteors with like the weird gravity, and again, when you mess with gravity, you mess with the camera too. It's just not good. It's not good. Lots of small things to hold this stage back. Not an awful stage, but it is not a good stage either.
Only one more left.
All right, let's get into the last stage here. That's the Meteor Herd, and this stage is bad
What do you mean?
game design. So let's break it down. The main thing that holds the stage back is its scale. I'm pretty sure bigger than Mad Space, although it might honestly be pretty similarly sized. But unlike Mad Space, which has those 3 distinct areas, this stage is like all disparate elements. Like you have this really big bottom area, and then you have a ton of like platforms and all this stuff leading all the way up to the Space Colony Arc. Another problem too is that there's really only one way to gain height in this stage, and it's like this one specific set of rockets and bounce pads that send you from like the bottom of the stage all the way up to the top. The thing about Mad Space is that there's multiple different rockets and rocket paths that take you to each of the areas, so you have a lot of options on how you want to move around the stage and to get from one point to another. But this is like, yeah, you're gonna take the one way up or you're not really gonna get up, and it's gonna be pretty annoying to get up. Okay, so let's talk about the playthrough. So the first emerald piece was actually on that like main path that you have to take to gain height, which is like super lucky. The second emerald kind of required some elite ball knowledge from me, which I have. The hint said something like behind something strong, and I was like, this is a really specific hint that I have remembered from a previous playthrough, probably from like a few years ago. So I don't know what that says about me. I was like, oh, this is behind one of the like big machines that are located at the bottom of the stage. So then I got to do probably the most fun thing you can do in this stage, which is from the top of the stage, drill dive all the way down to the bottom. The second most fun thing to do on the stage is to run around on the bottom of the stage. Again, I think this stage, in this case, uses those movement options and harmonizes with the movement options really well. Drill diving all the way from the top of the stage, that's fun. That uses one of the movement options. Giving you a lot of wide open space on the bottom of the stage to run around also uses and harmonizes with the movement options well. But just the rest of the stage doesn't really do this. But anyway, at this point I was like, okay, the third emerald, it could be anywhere. And probably it's located in all this nonsense on the top of the stage. And actually, I think the stage could have been pretty good if you just removed all that nonsense on the top. Maybe just had less of it, honestly. That central structure in the middle is not a bad set piece. It's just, there's too much other crap in the top, basically. So the third emerald piece ended up being on like one random platform near some like, you know, meteors or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay, it's over there. So I start going and I almost get there, and then I like miss, which, okay, skill issue that I missed. But here's where the bad stage design comes in. There is, again, only really one good way to gain height, especially in this stage where there's no walls you can climb up. So once I missed the platform and fell off, I was like, I gotta go back to that like central set of rockets and bounce pads just to gain enough height, just to get back to exactly where I was, instead of there being like a much easier option to help me gain height. Eventually now that third emerald piece into the level, it is fine. I don't really like this stage. I think it's bad game design. Oh, yes! Come on! Okay, for some closing thoughts, let's look at some of the general trends that we see on the stages. I think generally good stages are open, they have a lot of freedom of movement, and they also give you tools to help facilitate that vertical movement because climbing is slow. I think generally the larger stages are not as good, but stages like Pumpkin Hill, which are relatively large, are actually quite good stages, and a stage like Headquarters, which is still small, suffers enough from the game design that it ends up being a bad stage anyway. So scale's not everything, although generally the larger stages are worse. And I think there's actually like a fundamental flaw, or maybe not, depending on how you want to look at it, with all of these stages, which is that the more you play them, the more fun they get. And that's because you become more familiar with the stage layout. So the better you know the way that a stage works, where the rockets are, just the overall stage layout, what the distinct sections are, etc., then the stage becomes a lot more fun because you're able to sweep more effectively. The hints make a lot more sense, again, with that elite ball knowledge. But the problem with that is that on your first playthrough of any of these stages, it's probably gonna suck. It's probably gonna suck, honestly, because you don't know anything about the stage. There's a lot of information being thrown at you really fast. You go to Pumpkin Hill, you get a hint that says, by the skull. Or imagine getting hit. Some of these hints are like, it's by the pumpkin. It's like, dog, I'm at Pumpkin Hill. Like, everything is a pumpkin. Like, what is that gonna do for me? But once you have more context, once you understand the stage layout more, things like that, the game just does become more fun, and these stages become more fun. That ultimately is a flaw with the stages, because it means that the first time, maybe in the first few times you play, it's not gonna be as fun. But on the other side, if you played them a lot, like I have, they become quite fun. Even the stages that I think are bad, aside from Death Chamber, I have a lot of fun playing. Anyway, that's gonna wrap this video up. If you liked it, stick around. I'm about to make a little video on the mechs of Sonic Adventure 2, so stick around for that one. What is bro yapping about?